Thanks for being here. So glad we could come together today and lots of new faces. Really appreciate you showing up and powerful time in the world to feel a lot of feelings. So we just wanted to create an opportunity to connect and converse and get into the heavy and the light and just interact with all of it. Get to know it, get to know ourselves. We'll got some people coming in here, so bear with us. I don't know why it doesn't mute it. Yeah, we're just collectively dreaming together and individually dreaming together. And our perception is just so unique, each of us, and our ability to learn to express our uniqueness through our vulnerable questions or shares or just interactions of uh, sometimes we're very moved by other people's shares and just by allowing ourselves to share, to show our tears or just to raise our hands in gratitude. It's just a place to connect in that way. So thank you for being here. We'll have Rachel drop us in before we get into the more conversation side of it. Um, all right. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see familiar faces, new faces. Yeah, it's good to be here with you. Thank you for showing up. Yeah. So, just to reframe, I'm not going to drop you in. Let's let's just see where we're at and begin this communication with our body and check in. Yeah, I just want to um, like say again, a lot of you know this, but yeah, we're just exploring our bodies and our experience here as we drop in together and become community here in this time. And everything that I offer here in guidance is invitation. So we're just inviting the body. And yeah, let's begin with Tracy. Let's begin with just taking note of your room, the space that you're in. Maybe you're outside, maybe you're driving. Yeah, just checking out the space that you've arrived in to be in this community meeting. And then noticing the position of your body inside this space. Where are you located in this space? Just looking up and down and maybe at your body, maybe even observing your hands. Hmm. For those of you who've just joined us, we're just checking out our space that we're in and checking out our bodies in this space. Oh, beginning to notice our breath and where it's at. Oh. And whenever you feel ready, you can begin to close your eyes, taking in the outside in, the outer landscape, into the inner landscape. And see if you notice this energetic shift dropping into the body, bringing your awareness from out to in. And that subtle energy shift, just noticing what that feels like for you and your body. Oh. Hmm. And just feeling into the first layers that come up for you. Is there a part of your body that is getting your attention? Is there some dialogue, some words that are speaking to you? So in this dropping back and down into the body, there's an invitation here to begin to welcome all that is arising for you, all that your body is communicating. We're just here now in these moments together, just witnessing our own bodies and our own experiences. Mm. And noticing your breath, the inhale, the quality of the inhale and the exhale. It's not needing to adjust or change your breath, just being with your breath. We can honor our breath, this breath of life. We can be curious about this breath. What does it mean for us? What is this breath that just comes to us every day, throughout the night? Asleep or awake. And slowly coming into the heart, the center of the chest. Noticing the rib cage, your lungs. And maybe a natural deeper breath is coming to you upon feeling into your chest. Hmm. And feeling into the front of the heart, the part of the heart that meets the day, meets people, meets our experiences. It's more moving forward, interactive. Just noticing what the front of your heart feels like, its rhythm, its joy, its expression, its pain, its brokenheartedness, whatever is coming up for you with your heart, feeling into any expansion here in the chest, or any contraction, maybe both or something in between. Just noticing what is true for you. Moving very slowly and gently with your awareness into the back of the heart. Oh. Hmm. Feeling into the witnessing your experience and everything that you have witnessed in your lifetime. Softening around any visuals or stories, just allowing whatever is surfacing to be present, but no need to be hooked or follow these stories, just observing. And tuning into any wisdom here that your heart has to share with you. That could be in a color or a sensation, a temperature, a texture. Could be words or a song. Oh. Mm. 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 It's receiving whatever is coming to you. It's continuing to welcome as much as it feels good for you to open yourself to this experience with your body. Mm. And when you feel ready, you can bring your attention and awareness up to the jaw, your mouth. Oh. And again, this is an invitation. And the invitation here is to open your mouth ever so slightly, can also be a wide open mouth. And if you're not feeling ready or called to open your mouth, feel free to listen to that communication. If you're feeling into this open mouth, you can begin to take in your breath through your mouth. Allowing this breath of life to move freely into your body, feeling into the depth of this receptivity of breath and life. And on your next exhale, if you're feeling called, you can allow your body to bring sound forward. And that can be in the form of a sigh. Maybe you're beginning to yawn. Oh, oh. Maybe you're noticing the dryness of your lips. Feel free to lick your lips and then continuing to part your lips. Oh. Oh. And then There may be an opportunity here to make even more sound or allow sound to come forward. It might be slightly louder or longer. You can play with the exhale. So on your next exhale, gently, slowly, relieving all the air of your whole body out. And noticing there the difference on your inhale after that long exhale. Just this natural, deeper breath tends to come into the body. Noticing on the next inhale, where does this breath naturally travel to in your body? It's merging your attention and your awareness with your breath. Continuing this breath at your own pace, inhaling and finding where your breath is naturally moving to in your body. And long, slow exhale, allowing sound to come forward. I'm feeling into your jaw right now. How is it feeling? Underneath your ears, this powerful hinging of the jaw. Big part of our nervous system here. You can also stretch your jaw, continue to yawn if that feels good. Just noticing what you are tapping into right now, feeling into your jaw and what your jaw would like more of. Maybe it's the stretching or the yawning. The sounding. Or maybe it's to bring the mouth closed again. Feeling into what's good for you and your body. And then when you feel ready, you can slowly bring your awareness down the back of the body, the back of the spine, traveling deep down to the back of the belly, down into the pelvis, feeling into your sits bones. And if you're sitting, noticing the contact that you're making here from sits bones into your seat, the support here, feeling into the support rising to meet you in your body. Feeling into the edges of your body, meeting the edges of your support. Oh. And just pausing here, taking a moment, feeling into any tension in your body. Noticing any part of the body that is naturally melting or relaxing or releasing, letting go. Again, there's no need to push any experience here. The witness place, there is no preference, there is no polarity, there is just a noticing of all that is here for you. Feeling into any tension or melting in your pelvis, in your belly. And noticing how both can be present at the same time. Maybe it's dancing as you become aware of it, from tension to relaxation. Hmm. Just gently being with your body and your experience here, whatever is being communicated. And there's an opportunity here as well to feel into the bones of your pelvis. You can feel into your hip bones and your sacral bones, your tailbone, and your sits bones. Feeling into the structure and the strength of these bones. Feeling into the texture of your bones. Oh. And then noticing the blood here that's moving through your body, the flow, the quality of your blood, your lymph. Oh. And all your flesh. And beginning to notice your skin moving outward to the edges of your body. Feeling into the rootedness that may be occurring for you by noticing the center of your body here, the belly and the pelvis, making contact with the support, and even deeper dropping into the Earth Mother and feeling into her support as it rises to meet you as you continue to drop back and down, meeting her with reverence, feeling into her love and her quality of support and your unique connection that you have with her and all of creation and all that is. Oh, feeling into the beauty of her, feeling into the depths of her, all while feeling into and falling into the beauty of you and the depth of you. Oh. Feeling into this connection between the earth and your belly, your pelvis. Moving up gently and subtly from the belly into the heart. Feeling into this powerful connection, desire and intent, of passion and love and innocence and creativity. How does that move inside of your body? And how is all of that expressed through you out into the world? Just taking a moment to notice what it's felt like to give of your expression and of yourself in this world, all the beauty you've created, and feeling into all that you've received and been given. All the magic and beauty, all the vibrancy and sunlight that you've experienced coming into you. Noticing this relationship between inside your body, your inner landscape, and the outside. Mm. Noticing in this moment if your body's wanting any slight movement, or if it's deep in stillness, honoring what is here, what is desired. Oh, and feeling into your desire and intent for this community meeting, for these moments that we're sharing together here. Oh. Very, very slowly, when you're ready, begin to find your feet. Be more present into the room, feeling your hands, and maybe placing your hands on your body, wherever it feels good, over the belly or the heart, around the arms, maybe a gentle hug. Oh. Just giving thanks to your body for this beautiful vessel. And all that it has done for you. These amazing feet that have carried you on many walks. And you can bring your hands to your face if that feels good for you. Releasing any residual expressions or emotions from past experiences. Oh, feeling into the natural reset that may be occurring for you. Again, noticing what maybe is releasing or has released and what is still tense. And just honoring all sensations and feelings. Oh. And if your eyes are still closed, just very gently taking in the light of the room. Just gazing, allowing a little bit of the outside in. And again, noticing this feeling that occurs when you begin to open your eyes, moving from the inner landscape to the outer. And as you make this shift by opening your eyes, just continuing to invite your body to stay rooted to your belly, to your pelvis, to your support, and to the Earth Mother. Oh. Even as we share, I invite you to take note of your back body and continuing to notice your back body as you share, if you're going to share, and also if you're listening, you're taking in, coming from this more witness place, from the back of your heart, from the depth of your body. Yeah. Mm. Thank you so much. A beautiful journey. I say this often, so those of you that have been around for a while, you know this, but every time I go into meditation, I go with you and we co-create that. That meditation has never happened. So to me, that was all of you. That was our dance that we just did. So it was just really beautiful to me. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Incredible. Oh, I'll make sure that those of you that feel called to share and introduce yourself or set an intention or anything at all, questions, feelings, ideas, thoughts. We have more than normal amount of folks today, so want to make room for everybody. As you know, I can talk and talk and talk and talk, but you've heard me talk a lot, so most of you. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. That was really beautiful. Such a gift to have somebody guide. Um, when you're used to guiding, it's nice to get somebody to guide and vice versa. It's just really strong. So I'd love to hear from you if anyone feels called to say hi. Looking forward to meeting up here in Missoula in August. And I know some of you in here will be coming and can't wait to be in person together. Um, Co-creative dreaming, can happen in so many ways. And this is just one way in which we're doing that, but obviously in person and or meeting in dream time and being able to validate those conversations or in ceremony, different kinds of communication happen. And that's what dreaming is. It's communication. And the magical passes are communication. And we're just inside of a explorative process with these kinds of things. Dance, in discovering our relationship with the earth and the sun, what Toltecs refer to as intent, the force that each one of us has access to and is a part of. But often many people do not realize that, the simplicity of it. And so we're just creating a container for us to look into our uh, our innermost feelings. Often there are emotions that we haven't been strong enough to access from our past. And when we get strong, then we get incredible healing can happen. Heart healing and silence is very healing in that we get a break from our dialogue, move into more observation. And the lucidity practices that that we play around with in my classes, and I'm sure Rachel's working with in hers, are we're just becoming self-aware. We're starting to know ourselves. And rather than being uh, so susceptible and overwhelmed by information in the world or theater or stories or other people's fears, we really don't know what's going on. We don't know what is real. We don't know for sure of anything at all. We don't know, and that's that's a really healing place to get to, is to not know the unknown rather than the known. And it's uncomfortable. But the Toltecs refer to the unknown, the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. And there are things that we could witness that we couldn't possibly translate into words. And so our ability to interact in silent knowledge, to move in the realm of pure feeling without having to speak to ourself about what we're seeing. It's really, truly possible. It sounds like it wouldn't work, but once you experience it, it's quite the relief. And so that's why we do the movements. That's why we intend together and experience group intent and the power that that can create. Um, I'm sure incredible things can be done alone. And I've known some people that have done incredible things alone. One of the Russian dreamers I've trained with spent 18 years in solitude. But we're in a time where, but he went in there with the tools to be able to do that without getting lost. He trained for many, many years, decades in the tensegrity system, and then he walked into other layers of the onion, and he was able to just recapitulate, do magical passes, and cross streaming gates. Um, but we're in a time, I feel, that this knowledge was shared with the world, having been private for so long for a reason. And that it's not as inaccessible as it might sound when you read the Castaneda material or Taisha or Flavinder's stuff. But um, yeah, I just wanted to set the intention today. I experienced a feeling of with this meditation, I got to go back into a memory inside of my heart that was really strong, just being on the mat, training in martial arts, and how I got to express my fire and how incredibly healing that was at a certain point in my life. I remember the breakthrough and the acknowledgement I felt from the people around me. And I was training little kids on how to get silent and to practice Aikido. And it was just so beautiful to be in their presence and to be in that dojo. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because my kids were there too. So it was like, yeah, it was really strong. Um, Thank you guys. I'd love to have anyone share if you feel called. I know some of you are new to this community. I know it's a little intense to say hello for the first time, but it's really welcomed. And oh, Tracy, welcome.
Mhm. Hi. Uh, First time I've actually been finally able to
Mm.
join you guys live on this call. So it's really, really, really good to be here. Good timing. Um, Very powerful synchronicities always in my life, but sometimes it seems extra, extra. And this week has been one of those extra, extra weeks of synchronistic things going on and um, around me and in me. And couple of things that came to me during the meditation was the idea of we got to fall before we rise. I've been thinking about this because of cycles and getting sick this week, sick, detoxing and from choices that I know aren't ideal for me, things I ate and thoughts I had or interactions um or just just simple things like too much dust from pulling down old boxes from the attic, old dust but also old stuff, and then bam, just it got me. And um
Mm.
so I had been I'm involved in a writing community. I'm involved in a creativity, artist, painting kind of a community online and in person too. But all these things are tools that I've been using to help me uh, in my life, And so in the writing community, I was writing about this stuff, and I was pondering this question about um, why the continual cycles and this cycle of you're making these choices that you know what the outcome's going to be, but you continue doing it, and as you're doing it you fully know, and then the outcome happens, and then you go like, well, I knew that. And then the rising up out of that fall, and how there's this feeling of elation and feeling better and like, oh, and the fresh air and the sun and the yes, and so the falling and the rising and the falling and the rising. And then so during the meditation I was feeling the grounding, and I know that both of you in your ways have talked about our need to be grounded,
Mm.
that as we are rising and whatever that is for you, if we don't ground, then there's too much rising, and you get ungrounded, and that's not good. So then in during meditation, these thoughts are coming through me, and I'm feeling it in my body, and I'm thinking, okay, so because one of my questions for myself in this writing was, so how do I shift that cycle?
Mm.
And then so in meditation I realized, oh, okay, so it's the continual grounding consciously, however that is in your meditations and going outside into nature. And I kept feeling myself leaning back against a tree and having my feet in the water and being on the sand at the beach, and just all these ways that I keep myself grounded. And then part of that though is also that there's still another little tweak in there. I haven't quite figured out. And that's
Mm.
like, but like the discipline, like, when you know that those are the things you need to do, as these other things are going on, and you find yourself eating all this crap and you whatever, and then you're doing it, and then you need that little tweak of like how to just shift so that you, okay, go get grounded, so just the practice, the daily practice and all that. So that was really, really strong for me. And the other thing I just want to share is the amazing connections with people like you all, and through mostly my intentional creativity group, and my writing, but that's a little more varied, you know. But the need to step outside of what's happening. And so I would just like to share one thing I wrote to somebody today, because of the relevance is so like right there. And so she had posted a question. I have this 3-person group. She posed a question: anyone have a theory or know how many people have to die or be vax injured before they pull that bioweapon off the market? And I was like, okay. But all these synchronicities that have been happening to me the past few days helped me to answer this question. So I said, I do not know or have any theory on this. I know what is true for me. There is a cycle in place that we all, for now, seem to be subject to, and that is we must fall before we can rise. Think of all the falls in your life, then the rising afterwards, then the elated feeling when the fall fades and the risen feeling keeps you afloat for a while. Then the cycle repeats itself within our micro lives. I see the same cycle in the much larger context of humanity as a whole. All the big falls, all the risings, all the repeated cycles. My sense is we have been in a very big fall, and alongside the fall is a rising happening simultaneously. So how do we put ourselves and keep ourselves within the rising energy so that we stay out of the falling? Everyone has to decide for themselves. Something I heard recently that fits here is we are not meant to fit into the system. We are meant to dissolve it by embodying something higher, softer, wiser, deeper, something that is outside the system. So in summary, stay in love vibration, every breath, step, word, deed. Love wins. Ta-da! That's my share. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, Tracy, that
Perfect.
was amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Oh,
very synchronistic. Yes, thank you, Tracy.
thank
So good to be with you today, and so glad that this person has you
Mm.
and that you shared that response with all of us. I know that each of us is yeah, struggling, and it's a challenging thing to interact inside of all of that, but you said it very, very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd love to speak a little more about this because I feel like, wow, this has been the conversation of intensity for this week, last few weeks, or the last few decades, really. There's something when you talked about it, there were a few things that got struck in me around, and what Joel was saying, strength, like when we get strong. And when he said the word strong, I was like, soft. And there's so much strength in, and when I mean soft, I mean the softness of like the witness, similar to the meditation, and like like what is occurring in this type of meditation is very much has been my personal experience to what you're saying. It becomes this dual nature of our culture around the world really begins to the swing of that, the rise and fall, the bad and good, these start to they start to meet in the middle in this. I mean, we can call it non-duality, but that to me is also a little extreme. Um, there's a resting place inside of it all to where we can in my feelings and what I've experienced, one can really be in the love and the heart of the full swing. And it's when we begin to love it. And how does one love it? And I really feel like the love comes from acknowledging that most of this patterning is from a very long time ago. Thus the what kind of benefits we get from recapitulating, because we get to know those parts, and then we get to um, more fully integrate those parts that have been abandoned by, first we're blaming because it was outside of us, but there's a part of us then that abandons ourselves because that's all we really know how to do. Like there's nothing to blame. This is just an experience. And I believe that it's to come back to the heart. And when we prefer the rise, like you're saying, it can be ungrounding because you're like, phew, I'm finally there. Let's fly. Let's go. And it feels good. And we're in flow state. And we're, this like desire to be high or to shift our perception or to get into flow state is also a type of, to me, an abandonment of self and what and our truest, most authentic experience. And so it's like honoring and honoring and honoring everything that's coming up, even the desire. So I call it more devotion than discipline, because discipline tends to force a movement towards a preference. And in that, we tend to abandon the part of ourselves that is wanting to seek safety, love, um, you know, uh, what am I trying to say here? What's not coming up? Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. It's like those parts of us that feel uh, get some form of resolution in those habits that tend to hurt us. And it's this play that we have that can be um, just come into dissolution when we start to play with the layers, not work them so that we get there. Who are we becoming? We're trying to become something better, and this is all we are. This we're here. We don't need to be better or more. We are complete and whole. We just have all of these parts that are attempting to integrate, typically through the habits. So it's like we can play with these and explore, not so much in a fix mode or dissection with the mind, but it's that dropping into the body where it's like, oh, what are you saying? So bringing attention and awareness. So devotion, as opposed to discipline, is like is the noticing. I'm going to devote my attention to what is occurring rather than try and change what's occurring. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's personally, wow, I've had a week with it. I'm just saying, I have had a whack-a-mole pain wave come in, and my jaw spontaneously dislocated. I mean, just to give a little share here and a little reference for this is I did some very intense somatic therapy with this amazing space holder, and um, and I got to speak and communicate and be with my 20-year-old Muay Thai kickboxing woman that had been through all this trauma and was trying to fight the world through this kind of strength and discipline. And I ended up sitting in the chair that she was in. It was, I don't know if some of you, like, it's similar to IFS. And anyway, I went to sit, or pillow talk, if you've heard of that. I sat, and it was like all of a sudden naturally this part of her and I integrated, and I was literally feeling her hair. I could feel her face, everything. We were completely meeting. Anyway, there was a lot to that experience. It was really beautiful. She did some cranial to help with the integration, and she said, "What's going on with your jaw?" And I could feel my lips and my face like morphing. And she was going to work on it, but she said, "No, I'm being called to work around it." And then 2 days later, my jaw completely dislocated to where it went shut. So I'm recovering from that, doing a lot of what I just shared in the meditation. Um, but it was my first reaction to was like, oh my gosh, we're in a move. I need to do this. There's no room for my jaw to dislocate. There's no room. I need to get a practitioner that knows how to put it into place. I need, I need help. I need support, all this, which I'm big into. But I was like, oh, wow. Whoa. There's a part of me that just woke up. I dropped into my back body. I became totally aware that I was trying to fix my jaw and move it when it was actually speaking. And my 20-year-old self was directly speaking about an experience where I dislocated my jaw when I was 20. And so, and I don't know exactly what that is, but wow, I gave her so much more room to speak and be. And my jaw was so much more relaxed by giving her room. And then it naturally, with some acupuncture help, has come back to where like I can eat now, quite quickly. So this whole idea of like pushing and wanting to create a situation, actually this kind of making room and making more room and welcoming more when pain happens, when we allow it, it tends to move through. But when we try and change it or get out of pain, we actually can put more stress on the body. Yeah. Oh, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Thank you, Tracy and Rachel. All right, Melissa, welcome. You're still muted, so it says you're not, but can't hear you. Okay, take your time, figure it out, and come back. And all right, Alex, hi, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. There's two devices going, so I had to turn one down. Thank you for being here and creating this community. And it was lovely to meet you the other day. I was so curious and listening to you guys talking. It's refreshing to just be around people that are curious. And I'm here because I'm curious, and I love being able to zoom out and try and understand from a deeper level what is going on in my own reflections, and hearing your story about your jaw and just how you were able to hold that space for yourself and get curious. And you might have to turn that down because it's like, sorry, there's an echo. It's always hard to talk when there's an echo. It's like you're really hearing yourself. But yeah, I'm really loving listening. And when you were talking about your jaw, something that came to me was just how important it is to work with the natural world and be curious and try and understand why these things are happening for us, and how, like the jaw represents, our ability to speak and vibrate out, and how, the connection to the two parts of the jaw represent the connection to that. And how, when these things happen, yeah, it's really easy to say, okay, I dislocated my jaw. But when you get curious and you can zoom out and sort of see these things, it's like, well, wow, there's a disconnection to the vibration I'm putting out. And maybe there's something there, or maybe not. I don't know. But just to stay curious. And I'm hearing a lot of that here. And in the meditation, I really felt into that. And, I'm an NLP practitioner. And so I learned how to be curious through logic and recapitulating. In NLP, it's a lot of like doing timeline processes and changing patterns. And I love that you're really focusing on the feeling part of things, because for me, what I'm noticing in my journey is that I'm learning so much more when I can feel into what is happening in my environment. And that information just comes first. It's like that information hits me, and then the logical mind will try and make a story up out of something, like it's just you, or whatever that story is that resonates with a past story. And I'm leaning more and more into trusting the feeling body. And I love that you really tapped into that through the meditation. And it's so interesting with the jaw stuff, because I've been having issues with my jaw. And I've been really exploring, and it's not stuck or anything. It's like, I feel like as we age, our like skin in our mouth drops. And I'm feeling a lot of times like my jaw is not strong. And sometimes it hurts. And so like I have really been exploring this, like, how am I using my mouth and my words, and how is all of the energetics of that tying into what the physical body is showing me. So yeah, thank you for that. And it really resonated, all the jaw stuff too. So
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, amazing. Um, so it's definitely like in theory, everything that physically is occurring has to do with an event in our life, or an accumulation of events or patterns or systems, perception. And so opening up that inquiry and being curious it can change everything. Where I've witnessed the opposite, where people just outsource their power to somebody to tell them what's wrong, and then they just buy into whatever they say, and then they just end up so far down the line, so separate from their intuition. And so we're all just, everything's happening for our development, regardless of what it is. And some of it's horror itself. Some people, had things happen to them that are maybe impossible to heal from. But that's the reality of this world that we find ourselves in, and we can't go to where they are and be with them, but we can do our best to be, I mean, we can sit with people and hold space, but our evolution, our greatest gift to humanity is to heal ourselves, because then he gives permission. It's the 100th monkey thing. It just really has to work. It's like consciousness expands, and the more expansive we become, the more permission we give others to do the same. So thank you for sharing and being here with us in that way.
Yeah, thank you for using your voice and your jaw to speak. It was really strong for me. I felt like you were speaking to my jaw while you were talking, so it was like adjusting, and I was like, is everyone else feeling this in their jaw? Because it was so strong. Yeah, I learned a lot.
thank you. Yeah, and sometimes what we need the most, right? We project it out. And so it's interesting that I'm having some things with my jaw, but thank you.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hey, Melissa, did you get your sound good?
Yeah, I keep forgetting this different devices. I've been having device issues, and this one doesn't have a mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm grateful to be here.
Oh,
And I am so grateful for your beautiful meditations, Rachel, because I listen to the ones from the other ones to to help sometimes, that extra help when you need someone to guide you through a meditation. And you're amazing. Thank you. you've been you don't know, but you've helped me quite a bit. Today, this meditation, when we went in, I felt all this discomfort rush in, and I wasn't sure where it was coming from. And it's kind of a double thing. I have this gift when people are around and they've gone through something, I can feel their pain. I'm grateful that that's returned because I've been in a stagnant place. So thank you for that. But at the same time, I was internalizing it because I've been having trouble with my throat chakra. So I'm like, okay, what is my body saying to me? And what came up, and I also felt the healing. I felt all this like hurting through them, and I just allowed it to come through. And like you said, these past few weeks have been intense, and I've been sitting with my younger self a lot. And I'm in my childhood home, cleaning it up, getting it ready to sell. And I've been here 5 years, longer than what I was supposed to be here, which was 2. And that's all fine and good because I've done a lot of recapitulation, but now I'm doing it better through this, through the Toltec and the Carlos Castaneda stuff. But the beautiful thing is that this is the place where I lost my voice. And that's what came through a lot. And it's just beautiful to just be in that connection again with myself after kind of being so stagnant and things not having the clarity it once did. And I remember as a child when all these natural things that we have as gifts, they flowed in this very house. I remember the gifts and how everything was so easy. And before my car accident, I had connected to all of that. And slowly, because of all this physical pain I've been living in, and that was the other thing that came through. The pain is connected to the self-betrayal. Even though it was a car accident, it's been 6 years and I've been working on healing, and it's, it's there. And I was struggling through the movements for the past 2 months. And this past week, because that's been coming up, it started to lessen. Like as I became clear about what my body was trying to convey, it's starting to subside a little bit. And then it also reminded me of other times I've been in deep physical pain because of things that were occurring. And the pain is kind of self-imposed, is what I'm getting, sort of. Because I've lived through a lot of physical pain between shifting a pelvis, the car accident, and different things. And I've been in roughly about 9 car accidents and been hit by a car. So yeah, I've had to heal many times, but that's my journey, and I'm okay with that. That's my journey, and one day I'll be able to share that in some way. But I'm just grateful for that connection today, and you sharing your journey of what you remember from your youth, because that's kind of the synchronicities. That's all I want to say. Just thank you for that, for sharing that, because I see it in my journey as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Beautiful.
Really feeling you. I can really relate with your story. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Glad you're feeling better, and thank you for all your shares in the class and your powerful voice.
Yeah, I just want to touch too on that piece of like self-imposed or self-sabotage. For me, also having really majority of my life in pain, and a lot of practitioners being like, you're doing this to yourself, it's self-sabotage. And it was like, like it was really hard to hear when it wasn't really supportive for me. And then I realized it wasn't my truth. What I realized for me was the slight difference is like that it's coming from the subconscious. So it's not a conscious self-sabotage, really sounds like you're consciously trying to, even in your habits, like, you know, like Tracy was talking about, like we do these things and we know it's going to hurt. Why do I do that? It's still really coming from this place that wants to be more seen, heard, and loved. So it's not coming from, like, you're not attacking yourself. Like a lot of autoimmune people describe it as you're attacking yourself. I feel like there is a piece of that, but that's not uh, as helpful to focus on, whatever piece that is, because really it just the love, the part that's hurt, you know,
Mhm.
needs that attention and love. Yeah, just wanted to say that.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Mm. All right. Thank you. All right. Roni, welcome.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you. I am new to the community, and so thanks for letting me speak. And thank you for the meditation in the space. I had an experience yesterday that puzzled me, and so I wanted to just share it as first of all, I love the reminder that I don't need to know what's happening, like the truth, that I just can be on a quest to understand what's in here, and that and enjoy that quest even. And I had an experience yesterday where I decided to like sneak into this country club lake. Um, and I went in feeling like it was like this younger part of me that did a lot of sneaking. And I went in, and shortly after I got there, somebody called me out. It was like that I was like, I got in trouble
Yeah.
and I didn't like it. And then I like named somebody that I know, sort of brought her into that, lied that I was her guest, and then signed in, and then I left. And I just felt full of shame
Oh.
and regret. And I felt like, why did I do that? And I wasn't in the shame as long as, and I might have been, where I was like, okay, I was just kind of holding that little part of me, um and apologizing, trying to make it right with this friend who didn't really care. But uh I I wondered, I thought like, like if I had had a dream about this happening, like what meaning would I draw? Like what was that about? Why did I just do that? And I wondered, like, I don't know, just as I am not feeling as called to sort of like F the man, like push against dominating energies the way I felt an urge to do when I was younger. My dad, the system, medical system, whatever it is. Um, I think some part of me maybe wanted to bump up against that again, like the authority feeling, and me sort of deferring to that authority. And so I actually noticing that helps me to see it as kind of a game that I played with myself yesterday. And actually totally let go of the shame and just wonder how much more I might want to bump up against authority before I can let that game go. So anyway, I just thought
Wow.
I'd share that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Sounds like an adventure to me. I think, yeah, a lot of my friends are very focused on doing that intentionally just to shake things up, but they would, instead of like lie, they would just say, oh, I'm just gonna stay and see what you do about it,
Yeah.
just to sort of test so there's different ways to interact with these things. And if you're feeling that call to, like just stepping over something that you're not supposed to, like everyone just follows the rules. And some people are here to just break those rules to give permission to people that the rules aren't, like those boundaries And so it just depends on where it's coming from within you, for sure. Like if there's a wound, and maybe you wanted to interact with shame subconsciously as a means to interact, so like these are interesting things to get more curious about. I'm not saying I can tell for you, but we do all have that rebel teen that is wanting to go against our parents or our partner who we turn into our mom or dad in the dynamic when it gets tricky. And so the more we become conscious of self inside of how we feel around authority, there's a lot of opportunity for freedom. I keep talking about this, but my teacher was pointing out to me how I was complaining about my boss and I was blaming my company for just being retarded and just like talking shit and like I'll just wait it out. They're just stupid. And she was like, I thought you were a warrior. So like she was like, that's not how warriors behave. They don't talk shit about the people that pay their checks. They don't just sit there and watch things fall apart. They do everything in their power since they're there to transform the situation as best as I could. I cried all night after she told me that. I went to work the next day with no sleep and I changed my life. I changed my focus. It didn't matter. I just became a model employee, not because I was a slave.
Wow, thank you. That story really speaks to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Hmm. Awesome. Hey, Douglas,
you.
welcome, brother.
Oh, Douglas.
All
Hello,
right. Hey,
hello,
man.
hello, everybody. Hello, Rachel, Joel. So
Hi.
happy to be with y'all.
Mhm.
And the last probably 3, 6, maybe 9 months, I'm thinking. Well, I don't know how long it's been. Revisiting the Castaneda work through Joel, watching the perceiver stations, doing the movements, recapitulation. Recapitulation is very interesting um, for everything. For everything. Um, in a sense, it's definitely a pattern break. But I remember you saying, Joel, I think somewhere, one of the many, many classes or podcasts about the more you recapitulate, the clearer
Mm.
the energy body or the luminous egg, what is all trapped in there
Yeah.
begins to clear up. And the thinking, the awareness, the consciousness, intuition, health, everything begins to be shifted as a result of that. And you said that the clearer, if I think I've got it correctly, the clearer you become, the more, it like opens up this door, more comes to be released in the recapitulation process. Things that you had not remembered, have forgotten about, these deep seated, that takes me back to what my teacher first said. He said, emotional trauma precedes every weakness in the body. And through NLP, and through Germanische Heilkunde, German New Medicine, taking a look at all of that. That is just, it's been a powerful year and stimulated by you guys and the classes. And so thankful. Hope to see you all in August as well and enjoy more of this energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas.
Douglas. And thank
Happy
you.
birthday
Happy
yesterday.
birthday.
Thanks for sharing, Jolie, reminding us of Douglas's birthday. Yeah, would love to have you here, brother, in August. It was so good to be with you at the RKX event, and so glad you found this work, man. I know you found it before and you're revisiting it. And yeah, we do get to clear our field to the point that we erase the tattoos. Like that's one of the explanations that Toltecs give is that there's 3 statues in the Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City, and one of them is heavily tattooed, one is mildly tattooed, and one has very few tattoos. And it's assumed that the one with all the tattoos is older and just had more time to get tattoos. But it just was the difference between 3 different people, one that doesn't recapitulate, one that does some, and one that does a lot. And the one that had very little tattoos left had recapitulated their life quite thoroughly, and therefore they were no longer marked or covered in symbols based on their story, and they become limitless because they're not bound to their past. It's just like an unbinding from things. It doesn't mean you don't have access to your memories. In fact, you have way better access once you've released the baggage, because then you're lucid. But if you're carrying the weight of your story, that's why we're taking the weight of the world off our shoulders and giving it to the earth. There's a reason for every movement we do. They're very specifically intentional. Um, Thank you for bringing that to the table, Douglas.
Thank you, Douglas. It sounds like a really powerful year.
Yeah.
Really powerful year. And thank you for talking about GNM. GNM was a big, that inquiry was very much a part of this jaw dislocation. Yeah. Oh, excited to see you.
Hey, Kazri, welcome. Good to have you.
Hey,
Oh, hi Joel, hi Rachel, hi everyone. Oh, so good to see you all. Yeah, I just popped on just not long ago. I just finished work. I'm just parked in this empty lot next to the
Nice.
mall where I work, and it's so beautiful because it's just wild. It just looks like this wild land, and there's all these clover, pink and white clover, and I can just smell this beautiful fragrance. So it's kind of, yeah, like ugly area, but then all this beauty all at the same time. Like, isn't that life, the ugly and the beauty, yeah, it's really, really nice. So I just wanted to say hi, but then Rachel, when you were talking, I think after Melissa, and you were talking about like freeing yourself, maybe I'm not, this is not what you said, but from the self-sabotage, that kind of made me a little emotional. It's like, wow, I've just been so hard on myself my whole life, like this whole healing journey, and like so hard on myself because I self-sabotage. I keep like sabotaging myself, and I'm not moving forward because I keep doing these things that I know I shouldn't do. And then, but it's like you said, it's like these subconscious patterns, and maybe it's like this karma that we come in with. Like we all have certain things that we live through because of whatever this imprinting is. And so I'm just right now, or more so than ever right now on this journey, it's just like, what if there's nothing wrong with me? Like, could I just be in that space? Like, what if there's nothing wrong with me, nothing to fix? What if I'm already whole and complete? Like, because there is a part of us that is that pure spirit, and that's that. So I'm focus more on that right now, on just letting go of what needs to be changed and fixed. And so maybe I guess I'm not doing recapitulation right now. It's just more, it's like a self-love journey, just to just really turn that off, like that voice in my head. And I gave her a name, like her name's Gertrude. It's just like she's just like yakking all the time and just giving me such a hard time. And like, I wouldn't allow anyone else to speak to me the way I've been speaking to myself, and I would never speak to anyone the way that voice speaks to me. And so I'm working on freeing myself from that voice and just loving myself, and yeah, forgiving myself, like whatever patterns I have, like I didn't create them. They were imposed upon me. And yeah, so through the self-love journey, perhaps they will just melt off, or at least I'll be in a space where I can more easily look at them and free myself from them, something like that. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but that's sort of, so I really felt touched by you sharing that. And yeah, because life is it's a lot easier and more beautiful when we can just be in that space, or when I can be in that space of just accepting. It's just, this is who I am. I've done a lot of work on myself. I can give myself a lot of credit. And at the same time, like whatever's left, it's okay. It's okay. So that's what I want to share.
Oh, Kasri, that's so beautiful. You said it. You said it. I really believe like everything you just said is it. And if you go back, if you listen to the beginning and the meditation, this is the theme. I really believe that this chaos is like, we're all of us in here. Like, yes, we can get lost in our patterns and our vacillating and our talking poorly to ourselves and all this, but I really believe, as indirectly as it seems and messy and confusing, that it's actually the direct path back to our soul, and is we are directly taking responsibility for the separation that occurred during birth, like when we entered this world. We are not to blame. We are not to blame. And but we are responsible. And that is power to me. We're responsible for our love and to get to know it, but we've been separated from it in whatever story. Yeah. And we can find that not just through recapitulation, but just the awareness of that in each moment when we talk bad to ourselves again, or when we eat the thing, that we lovingly do so. Oh, I notice you're talking bad. Okay. Oh, yeah, I hear you. I'm loving you. It's okay to talk bad to yourself, but like to have the awareness to love ourselves through it so that it moves rather than, why are you talking bad to yourself? Pushing away. You've done it
Yes.
so long. Why do you keep doing this? Like these voices,
Yeah, 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 it's true. Yeah, that voice needs to be loved too. It's like it all needs to be loved. Yeah.
As we love. Same.
My aspirational name. Thank you both so much. Thank you all.
That's
Much love to
beautiful.
you.
Amazing contribution.
Mhm.
Welcome, Cynthia.
Oh, Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for all your shares. It's been amazing. I was a few minutes late and I missed most of that meditation. I mean, I was listening to it, but I didn't do it because I have working this afternoon. I have a paint and sip party that I'm getting ready for afterwards. So maybe I do love your meditations, though, Rachel. I've been in on a few before and they're really good. So um, it seems like a lot of like the theme of what's been talked about has been pain, which really resonates with me since I've had chronic pain since I was 18. And this week was actually kind of tough because I have a tattoo that got infected, and I was like, I know I got 4 feathers from my late husband last Sunday, and I'm beginning to suspect that I get them when I'm going to need the support because the last few times I've gotten them, like something's like has happened that like, okay, maybe that's why I got them. And because I've been off my feet for a week, I've had to have it elevated. It's like the pain has been so intense. And I don't think I will ever get a tattoo again. It's like, I mean, hopefully I don't lose this one that I got. But um, so anyway, the talking about the pain and why we have it, and I remember a time when I would look in the mirror and tell myself I hated me, and today I don't do that. So I really like what the last Cassie, I think your name was, what she had to say about it's a journey of love, and I think that's also, my journey as well. I've been working so hard on loving myself again because I think I blamed having this chronic pain. Not I think, I know I blamed it on me. And a lot of it was things that I was told by doctors and stuff like, you're doing it to yourself. Like, well, if I'm doing it to myself, why can't I stop it? And I realized today there is a way to stop it. And I think I'm starting to tap into it this past year. So I just wanted to come up and say that. And this year has been really, since I've taken like a year's worth of these classes through Joel and one through Rachel and Joel. And my synchronicities, I could talk really. My synchronicities have really strengthened, and my intuition, and just it's amazing. I'm just like a different person today, but it's a slow different person, which is nice because I'm fighting it all the way and I don't want to fight it, but I feel the resistance of something there so it's like I'm always pushing against that resistance to do the things I need to do. So that's why I'm here. So thank you very much, Joel and Rachel, and everybody else that's here.
Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia. Beautiful. Just wanted to peek into the chat. Tia said, I'm learning that being at odds with tyrants in life is a form of self-sabotage. Yeah. Yeah, Susan says truth. Gertrude.
Mm.
Okay, just wanted to catch up.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Glad you're speaking to yourself differently than when you know, were saying those things. And yeah, it can get lighter and lighter, and it isn't meant to go any faster. We're just all unique in what our intuition is going to guide us based on what type of pain or type of challenges we're undoing. Hey, Keon, welcome, brother.
Hello, Kian.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm always having some technical stuff here. Just wanted to share, thank you so much. And I heard this morning of this talk start off with gratitude, and that's a big thing. I'm also in recovery, and I started to write a program based on the 12 steps, but you can apply the 12 steps to anything. It's just like admit something's wrong, you know, just literally accept something, that there's bigger planned things for you that is smarter than you and all wiser. Make some amends, apologize, figure out what you did that sucked, don't do it again, and then help other people to figure out their purpose and path. So I've been writing this program. So when you said that, when you said about gratitude, I thought, and I was reflecting, and then the next thing you said was, and this is amazing because I'm all about perspective and just switching that thought process of what's negative. Is it really positive, or is positive really negative? And so, or is it just the same thing? And he said that gratitude is the most underused superpower that we all have. And I thought, whoa, like it sounds so simple. Oh yeah, I'm grateful for like this food or life. But then I'm like walking my dog before this call, and like you've if you've heard me say this before, like selling all the flowers, and I'm sniffing random flowers. And it's just like when he said that about superpower, I was like, whoa, it like can bring you into the moment like instantly. And so I just really like that. Like we always think superpowers are like, you know, freezing time and flying and shooting lasers out of our eyes, or I guess we could do on some level, but the one thing I really wanted to share about was I just went to this event outside of in the Sonoma area, and there's Janet right there, which I say Janet on all the planets. You turn around, she's there. Like every event, every montage, doesn't matter what state, what country, you could be like about to like hike Mount Everest, and you turn around, oh, there's Janet. Um, and but yeah, and it was a lot of music and sky connections from last year. I won't get into names and all these other things, but yeah, music and sky and Confluence, and a couple of people there who were in that area of Sonoma. We were on a Zoom call, and they just rallied out, hey, who wants to show up? There was like over 60 people. We stayed there at their house. It was this beautiful property. I mean, they even had to get sound equipment, a couple porta potties, and it was just such an amazing event. And I'm 4 hours away, and I drove. Janet's like 10. Most people were in the general, like Sonoma, Marin, Greater Bay Area. Presenters were there just as commoners, lay, you know, lay people, if you will, that live in that area. And it was just such an amazing thing. And so I just want to really appreciate these calls. So being on a Zoom is one, being in person is a whole nother thing. I heard this thing on Alex Zek was saying that of all the people in his community, a poll, and I'm paraphrasing, but to the extent of, yeah, we're on these calls, or, you know, whether you're part of a community like this or one of the monthly ones like The Way Forward or, you know, Alpha Vedic. But of all those people who were still not feeling connected on a personal or in person, local, and it's something I still not feeling the actual local connection. Like, oh, and here I just went to this. And so I just want to encourage you. It's like, how do we find that locally? You might have to be the one to put something on. You might not want people over for a whole day or night sleeping there or camping, but at the same time, maybe a local thing in a park for a few hours. And, you know, so I just want to say, like, it's just all about that. And so when you're talking about consciousness expanding, Joel, it was just, you know, I now have like 10 more people in my phone who are now friends, family, you know, potential business partners, who knows, people from other areas. And I was thinking this, that knowledge is a food source. And so that was my thought of the other day. I was like, well, if knowledge is a food source, what comes from knowledge? Experience. This amazing experience. I drove to my dog, even road trip down. I hadn't been with her for a while on a road trip, and just being with my dog. And so, um, anyway, I'm getting kind of hyper and high off this memory here, but I just wanted to mention that. And this was the coolest thing, and I'll leave with this. There was so many little random dogs there, from little dogs to big dogs to like a husky. I mean, you name it. The only dog that barked once, well, yeah, it was mine, but she's just a little alpha mountain dog, just has to protect everyone, but she's super sweet and loving. And all of a sudden, all the dogs were together. They're all just doing their thing. They're going about. They got along. And this is my point. It's like we're all community members. We're all vibing on the same tip, with how the system works and what we're learning and what we're trying to expand health-wise, consciousness, mind, body, soul. Even the dogs got along. Dogs take after their owners. Okay. It was like the coolest little wolf pack I've ever seen. And it was such a like exemplary moment, like a microcosm of us as people. And I was just like, whoa. Oh, here's my dog looking at us now. Let me see if I can. sh- She's in the corner. Can you see her? No, a little bit right there.
Yes.
Oh, there she is. That's Lady. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave with. So yeah, even our dogs kick ass and are nice and awesome. So, and anyway, that's who you all are. So thank you for being here. I love y'all if I don't know you. And patterns are a purpose. So let's pay attention to them because they happen for a reason. And we strike out and miss, and then we hit home runs with them. And there you go. Happy solstice and all that good stuff. Thank you.
Happy solstice, brother.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
Keon.
Always love your shares, man.
Thank you.
Glad you guys are making personal connections in the world and going to be amongst people. And it's life-changing, healing. Tommy and I just got to spend a weekend together and got to meet Alex and Bozeman. So important to just hug and be in person. Thank you. So Tommy, sorry, go ahead.
Glad you're still smelling the flowers, Keon.
Yeah, totally.
You inspire me.
Cool. All right, Tommy, welcome, brother.
Guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah, been a while since I've talked to anybody here. Good to drop in, and Joel just mentioned that we saw each other, and he met Alex, who's in this call right now, and yeah, I think it was Keon just spoke talking about gratitude, and that's kind of where I was going to go when my what's coming through my heart right now, and talk about just the authenticity of gratitude and how it's hard when you're sick or you're not feeling well or you're in a spot in your life, or maybe it's a week, maybe it's a day, maybe it's a month. For me, it was years of my life not being able to experience authentic gratitude, and having teachers in my life or friends or people that I would meet along the way who got to know my story a little bit, kind of just saying, well, have gratitude for life, be thankful. And it's not something that Joel and I talked about it on a walk the other day here, but gratitude to me is something that has been very hard to access until recently, and not being able to access true emotional states of having gratitude for anything has been very challenging for me in my life, knowing that I've been able to spend lots of time previous to an illness that I've been going through in my life for the last 4 years. I had lots of gratitude, or felt lots of joy and wonder and awe that's oftentimes associated with gratitude. And so I don't know who needs to hear this, or maybe it's just me who needs to hear myself say this, but the amount of gratitude that I'm having in my life, again, yeah, I don't take it for granted. And there's just moments in my life that I'm able to access little by little, and I want to give those people hope who maybe have a hard time accessing that relationship with gratitude, because that relationship with gratitude to me is really just the relationship with God or source, or being in direct connection with the feeling that we're all in, and that we are capable of having a relationship with this feeling, and then going into these feelings more and more and doing the work that's required. I'm grateful for gratitude, not just having gratitude. I'm grateful for what comes through gratitude, which is authenticity and being courageous and being vulnerable with your heart. And so, yeah, I mean, being able to access tears for me has been incredible. And some of the places that I've been inside of myself for 4 years, I've had a hard time articulating. So I've stayed back in a lot of silence and been a mystery to myself. And Joel and I also talked about that on our walk the other day. Is I've enjoyed becoming a mystery to myself, so I could lose my story that was with a part of me that was holding on to a large portion of myself that needs to, you know, have its time and rest. And so becoming a mystery to even myself has been something I'm very grateful for. And even though it's brought on a lot of challenges of not knowing what to do or where to go or what to plan, there's something beautiful about letting yourself become a mystery to yourself, because then you almost shield yourself from everyone else who's trying to project onto you. So yeah, a couple comments there, just with gratitude and letting yourself be okay with not knowing, back to the beginning of this call. So yeah, thank you for letting me share that. And then really quickly, to the woman who talked about tyrants and stuff in our life. Yeah, self-sabotage, but then getting caught in those stories. I think one thing that in my experience helped me with having a grip on kind of what's going on outside of me and being upset a lot at systems and institutions and control structures. Once I totally became okay with everything that I was seeing outside of myself was myself, and I could see that these outer projections, these outer world that we're having an experience with, is more or less just a true reflection of not only our collective consciousness, but like my own individual struggle with having a hard time with this, like almost like trickster archetype that is playing itself outside of us right now. Yeah, I stopped being at odds with it as much as I was. And so yeah, I just wish everybody the best in how they're interacting with this force that's here. And I just am really grateful for Joel and Rachel for setting this up. And yeah, obviously a lot of gratitude for that. So so thank you. Thank
you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Awesome to have you here, man.
Yeah.
Feeling your heart strong, Tommy. Thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you, Keon and Tommy, for just like gratitude is that gateway to love, I really feel like. And then to know and not beat ourselves up when we don't feel it. Like we can go through a period of time and to be in that, inquiry and that mystery and the unknown of why gratitude isn't here. Why isn't it showing up? Where's the love? Because it's there. It's just going through something that we aren't able to understand. So beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. Wow, such a powerful share. Amazing group. Jessica, welcome.
Jessica.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, it's so nice to be live with you both and everyone. So good to see everybody and be in community and feel this love. And I didn't know I was next, but Tommy, that was really wonderful. It just like opened me up a little bit. And I was thinking like, imagine I go after him. It'll be like that thing that happened with Kazri when I went after her, and it was the perfect share I went after. And here I am. So yeah, I was late. I missed the meditation, but that's okay. I have something to look forward to now. And so I want to speak to this story piece that you mentioned earlier with the tattoos and the story. And so I'm in the process of like re-socializing myself. I've been in like pretty severe isolation for myself. And the last couple weeks, I put it out there and I've been like really in the process of it. And I was invited to an event last night and I went to it. And it was nice. And I found myself in this place. So before I went, I was like, oh, I can just go and like be be the silent girl. Like I can do that. Like I'm allowed to do that. I don't have to, perform or anything. And I found myself in this place again of someone comes over and says, "So, I really want to know about you." And I'm like, well, well, what do you want to know? And I don't know what to say. Like, I have this story that I'm coming out of this recovery story of this car accident that I don't want it to be my story. I don't want to really share it. I'm not sharing that. Um, and then I'm in like this space in between. I guess that could be my story. I find myself, it's like I get nervous and I feel pressured and I feel like, well, what am I going to say? What am I going to say about myself? What if I don't want to say anything about myself? What if I don't want to tell anyone my story? Do I have to make something up? And so I found myself, pushing out a few words and sharing, like drawing on pieces of myself. Oh, maybe I can share this part with this person because it might feel good or it feels like the correct vibration or whatever. Um, but and I remember a while back, I was in a ceremony and the person holding it at the end, we were just, end of ceremony, everyone kind of like getting together and relaxing and chatting or whatever, eating the food. And he said to me, "What's your story?" And I didn't know what to say. And this is like, I don't know, like 8 years ago. And I still don't know what to say about myself. It's a very interesting thing to observe because if you put me in the room with the right person, I can talk endlessly about things that are exciting in my life. And if I get put on the spot, it's like, what am I going to say? Well, how do I relate my story or who I am? Is it what I've been doing? Like, is it these herbal salves that I've been creating? Like, do I start talking about that because that's what I'm doing? Or is it something that I want to bring forward? Or is it, oh, it was like, I'm actually experiencing this deep trauma? Or like, yeah, last week I was in a really crazy downward spiral and now I'm feeling better, or it's like actually the truth of what's happening right now. Well, I'm actually re-socializing myself. So you're in luck. You get to be the first person to experience that with me. Like, maybe that is what I have to say. Maybe it is like what is so true in the moment. It's like I'm so used to rehearsing and not knowing what's true in the moment or what to say, like who I am or how I'm feeling. And I'm actually, well, this, I'm in this deep kind of shift, going through all these doors of like rediscovering, yeah, like who I actually am. So it's like there's a part of that to me that if spoken to the wrong person, I feel like, I guess maybe it will be judged, or I guess I just have to let go of that feeling of being judged, because if I let go of that, then nothing I say really will matter, or feeling comfortable with whatever the person's response is, or whatever. But yeah, so it turned out to be okay. I feel very exhausted now from it. But that's okay. And yeah, so with the stories and I've been recapitulating a lot. And just that story that you said with the tattoos, it's like, and then I'm thinking about, I'm almost done with the book. It's been like a couple months it's taking me to finish The Sorcerer's Crossing, I was reading it out loud the other night with myself, and that was awesome. And I was like, this is a way for me to practice using my voice and feel comfortable. Like I just need to read to myself out loud. And so I'm reading it and getting deeper and deeper, and then I'm remembering, like, I'm past the Clara part, but I'm remembering Clara, and I'm like, this self-importance, this whole thing, like, she says something about like not really having to have a story. I think she says something about that. not feeling that the story is important, not being more or less. And so I'm like, do I need a story? You know, I'm playing in all these realms and I'm in all these little pockets that have similar threads. And then part of me is feeling like to just come into one pocket for a little while, like maybe like come into our pocket only for a little while and just like close everything else out and see what happens there, because I notice I'm picking up things that there's a similarity and there's also like a big difference. um I'd like to be able to interact with whoever, and it's like I don't feel strong enough yet to do that because um yeah, like I don't feel strong enough in how I feel and what I mean, I'm getting closer to what I believe this all is. It's like when you get to this point, um yeah, just like redirecting. But anyway, yeah, so the resocialization thing is crazy, and then the story. So it's like, do I need a story? How can I be comfortable enough with myself to not have a story? Like when I first left New York to travel across the country, along my way, I was heading to Sedona, and people were like, well, what are you going to do there? I'm like, I don't know. And that felt really good. And it was really funny to watch people's uncomfortability with me saying, I don't know. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, like my whole car's packed. I'm going to go see what happens. And so then it's like, I have to remember that, Jess, and draw on her. And with this whole experience that I've had, you know, that I'm coming back from, um, which I don't really want to keep saying that. Okay, erase that. But yeah, it's this comfortability with not having something to say, not even not knowing, just not having a story. Like I don't, I want to just be, you know, where do you go with that? The non-story.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, amazing, Jessica.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, this is when we remove the social mask, then we're no longer like other people. And it's very vulnerable and uncomfortable and intense and liberating at the same time. And yeah, like I've watched Tommy just tell people exactly what's going on and not hold back. You know, just say, I don't have a story. I'm lost. You know, or you have the option to just be bold and liberate yourself in that moment by being that much more honest with the social world than ever. But you don't have to, because that could attract a whole nother series of, you know, it could open a door of inquiry that they really want to know what the fuck you're about now, and you might not be wanting that. So sorcerers, they practice controlled folly where they just match people's energy and they just match their perception and just say what's appropriate for that person so that they can get in and out of that conversation without getting any energy splinters. And or if they feel called to connect and go deep, then they might get really authentic. But if that authenticity isn't feeling available, then there's just a way to sort of allow yourself to almost be an actress in a movie and say your line because you're just amongst people that don't know they're in a movie, but you're starting to realize it.
And it's
Hmm.
also, I think, good to know what your history is as far as your triggers or how much you take on other people's energy. So if you've been practicing, you know, soaking up everyone in the room's energy and you go to kind of do that, um, or go to do what Joel was talking about with the source, you know, act something out, and you've been acting your whole life for your parents or your friend, you know, for the world, then it might be better to know exactly what you want and speak from what you feel you need in that moment, and then knowing that that'll be exactly what that person needs, and then play from the awareness that you're playing. You know, if you go to act, know that it's from that you're that your energetic field is contained. So I guess that's what I'm saying. So that you're not just like giving them something, handing your energy over for this act. So you're acting within your container and you're very conscious of that. Just a slight difference because a lot of us are empaths and we've been like, you know, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, okay. So then it really just comes back to intent again and being in really just comes back to intent, doing the passes, doing the recapitulation, reading the books,
And
it's
knowing
so
your desire.
yeah. What did you say,
Oh,
Rachel?
knowing your desire and playing with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. And because I look into that and it's like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I wasn't my authentic self. And then I'll
Right.
go into that hammering myself like, look, you know your intention, you're wanting to show up with more authenticity, with being yourself, with not people pleasing and blah blah blah. And then I have to be like, yeah, but look at this step you made. Like you did this for this purpose. And so yesterday I said, well, this is an experiment for me. This is the purpose of going to this. I want to enjoy. It was lovely people. I want to enjoy. And when I get that, oh, like, what was I thinking? I don't want to go anywhere. Like, what were you thinking kind of thing? I'm like, but remember, this is going to be a playful experiment and it's going to be like a measuring tool. So yeah, I think it's a muscle that I have to work.
You get to
Okay.
work.
Yes, I
Yeah,
get to.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you everyone.
Mhm.
So good to be with you and I'm so grateful for this community like so much that I get to play like this with everyone and feel good about it.
Yeah, beautiful process, Jessica. Thanks for taking us into that with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining and riding with me.
for sure. Really helpful. Oh, Janet, welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna bubble about that Sebastopol
Yeah.
thing, Keon. I love you so much. I love everybody here. And
Oh,
I'm just continually in a gratitude bubble. Like it's just, I'm just, yeah. And I just tell when I don't feel like speaking, I just tell them
mhm.
that, oh, you're a character in my dream. I mean, this language just, you guys have, my language is now, this is a dream. So it just fully, like, there's no part of me that doesn't believe this is a dream. And that's my language now. And I'm so confident in the dream. And I'm lucid dreaming in the waking, and I'm lucid dreaming at night, and the confidence is through the, it's just so lovely and delicious. And yet there are tricksters out there that kind of try to come into my dream, and I'm like, you're just a character in my dream, so therefore I can change you. I can change you. And even at the little Sebastopol thing, there was like an energetic, I wouldn't say confrontation, but there was somebody who was like very domineering and wanted to crack my body. And I don't let people do chiropractic things on my body. But I decided to surrender into it and let her. And it was really a beautiful exchange because I was able to also surrender. I mean, literally I surrendered. And, but usually chiropractors are all like, okay, this is off, that is off. You are a whack job of off, which is what she told me. I was like, I don't feel that off, but you're C1, you're C3, she went down and she was just like, this is that wrong and this is wrong. And I know that's their language, and so I surrendered into, for a moment, being in her dream. And then she was able to put me back into place and then feel confident about fixing me. It was just, but it also had to do with my throat. So thank you, and jaw, and literally because she said I was just like a completely locked, and she released a lot. And I cried. I literally had a deep release emotionally. And yeah, and then I got to drive farther up to where my girlfriend lives and go swimming in a pristine river. And I want to go swimming with Roni wherever you are. I'll break into any country club. I'm no problem with that. Like, yeah, let's go swimming. And this is our playground, and yeah, I just want to go swimming. That's what I want to do. And there's no swimming in Los Angeles. So that's why, Keon, I have to go. I have to get in my car and drive to Montana and drive to Texas. And because I live in Los Angeles, where you can't swim in the ocean and there is no body of water. There's no river, there's no lake. And I'm a fish, and I'm a fish out of water. So anyway, yeah, I got to drive to go swimming as much as possible. And that's my mission in life, to go swimming. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thanks for always uplifting me in this special way. And I'm very happy to be part of this ever-growing, loving, beautiful community. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Janet.
Janet.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for all your all your shares throughout this time, and for showing up to this powerful work. And excited to see you in August. And we're all getting on the, I sent an email out for that, for people to connect Airbnbs and stuff. So if you guys all want to connect, just reach out. Patty, welcome.
Oh, Patty.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everybody. I'm so nervous. Like, and it's like everything everyone said is like the jaw, the throat, the self-talk, it's like I can relate to everyone. It's incredible. Like, being defiant, like, not sure about sneaking into into country club, but it was like not long ago, it was like 3 weeks ago, I was pulled over, and I was like, I left work like a half an hour early, and because I had an acupuncture appointment for my lower back, and I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, came to a stop, and it's like right in front of like the fire department. You cannot like stop in front of a fire department. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So it's like I still had time to like reverse. So there's like lots of time, like lots of room. And so all of a sudden, like I'm doing that. Oh, and then the green light happens, and then I continue going. And here I go, like the cop he was actually in the fire, right in the fire department driveway. And he went behind me, put the lights on, pulled me over. And I'm like, okay. Did you know what you did? I'm like, no. I'm like, I was like trying to reverse so I wouldn't be blocking the driveway. And he said, well, there's like electronic devices that you didn't see. I'm like, no, I didn't see an electronic device. All I was trying to do was reverse my car so I wouldn't block the driveway. And so he was like, just like, well, you did something illegal. I'm like, but I didn't do anything wrong. I just felt like, inside, I knew that my intent was knowing that I shouldn't be blocking the driveway, and I was trying to reverse, and as soon as the green light went, I went too. And so he didn't see he didn't see my view at all. So, he says, well, can you give me your driver license and insurance? I'm like, why? I said, I didn't do anything wrong. Like I was just, I told you. And he's like, so I said, what happens if I don't give you my driver's license? He's like, well, I'm going to arrest you. And I'm like, and then like half of me was like, I felt like I wanted to get arrested because I felt like I didn't do anything. And the other part was like, but I gotta get to my acupuncture appointment because I really need. And I'm like, so I was feeling like really torn, like kind of like angry inside that I wasn't really doing anything wrong. Like, and he was very like militant about his whole speech. And I just, you feel that, that whole programming. And I'm like, okay, all right, here's my driver license. Okay. And I just felt like I was back in like, that finding out like you actually don't have to give your driver license. Like we're like doing a lot of the research back in like 2020 and finding out like, this thing's really actually, not even what we have, known about and all these legalizations. And anyways, I continued and he gave me the ticket and he says, oh, you get $25 off if you pay it before 30 days. I'm like, thanks. And there I went. So I'm like, that was just I could feel that part of me that was like, who, like, wow, like what's going on within myself to like, have this bit of like fight, and usually I'm like when I know I've done something wrong, it flows, like, okay, that's cool. And anyway, so I ended up getting to my acupuncture appointment on time. But been some really wonderful things been happening like in the last like since like probably the last few months, moving into this new place and just and it's like the gratitude share has been happening throughout this community workshop today. And I've been thinking like I'm nervous and and yet I want to try to convey like my gratitude towards like this community and you and Joel and Rachel and how much I've been given through just showing up and being here. And like I've got a lot of like bits and pieces that I can resonate with so many of you that have shared so far. And but sometimes when I start to think about things, I start to like, oh, you gotta stop, and just listen and just say, I have a lot of gratitude. I have a lot of gratitude. Um, the one of the reasons why I found this place that we live in now, it's like I was practicing the pattern break and I was just driving home. Like I decided to decided to change route and I found a beautiful road to go home, another route to go home. And I was like, oh, I see this little rent sign. And I'm thinking like, I'm not gonna be able to afford that. Nah. But I thought, I stopped and I reversed and grabbed the number and I'm like, okay. And I got Sarah, can you call? So she got Sarah to call. And like, so we end up, meeting this landlord within an hour. And I told her we had dogs and I said, and she's like, yeah, okay, I kind of didn't want dog, but I want to meet them. So it's like within the hour we're there, we're chatting, looked at this place and she's like, okay, well, let me know what you think. I was like, well, how much? And I said, well, that's not really in our budget right now. So we went home and she texted me within like the hour. And she's like, how would you take this amount? I'm like, oh, yeah, like she's negotiating with me. Like, I think I should be doing that with her. And right off the bat, she didn't ask for references. She's like, and I have them. And like, all she knew, like, I had a pretty like long, lengthy, job, and she could see I'm. And so she trusted this. I guess the energy here, and so ever since that it was such a beautiful change because we were living in a little tiny shoebox and knowing that we needed to get out and finding us this like really spacious all like surrounded by nature that that was such needed, right? And that dream, the part of the dream was also to have a garden, like to eat from the garden, grow from the garden, like have herbs, and that's happening. It's like my garden is exploding, and I'm able to have some healthy solids like every day, and just feed the body, and share it with people in the neighborhood, like the lady down the driveway. Help yourself to herbs because they are exploding, you know, and have some lettuce, and it's like, wow, I'm actually doing this thing. I've never grown a garden before. And, you know, I've just asked for help, and a fellow at work helped me with, you know, what his knowledge was. And it's just, yeah, it's just amazing. Like, it just, gratitude is like, it's not like, for me, it's like, it is about like having these things, but it's like a really, when it comes down to saying the gratitude within, like being able to like take in the goodness and then share that. So I'm really, really grateful for all of you. I really am. And much love to you all. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Patty.
Beautiful.
Sounds like your garden's feeling your gratitude.
Oh, incredible.
So amazing. So glad for you.
Yeah, congratulations that you guys found an amazing place to be. And yeah, it's cool that your dogs helped you get the place. Thanks for sharing that, Sarah. Oh. Well, Sarah wrote in that the dogs.
The dogs, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Much love. Jolie, welcome. Our final share.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, so this call has just been a whirlwind for me. Like, I feel like I've done like 30 things, and it's just it's very indicative, and like a process that I've been working through, but also noticing in myself that like being grounded is not something I necessarily have been the greatest at doing, even though I've like lived in nature my whole life. But I I I was gonna like leave the call and go ride up a really steep hill on my bike, just like, you know, sweat, and like I got outside and I remembered the past that we learned, and I was like, this is what it's that energy that I've been moving out, as far as like the masculine energy that I've like been overpowered by. And so I decided not to do that, and I went down, was sitting next to the lake, and just like stripped all my clothes off and jumped in. And then we were talking about like swimming, and it's like the water is so healing for me. Like, I mean, it's cold. It's probably like, I probably just jumped in like 53-degree water, you know, and the wind's just howling, and it's beautiful just to also come out of that and then be hearing everybody's shares and how much gratitude that we all have for, you know, the ride that we're on. And it like that I had so many times in the last 2 hours where I was like, God, you're a fucking mess. Like, just sit still, like just be still, you know. And it's funny because I got out of the water and I was like, okay, I gotta go do something else. So I got in the truck, and while I was sitting next to the lake, I looked over and there's this dirty diaper sitting there. And I've had this thing recently where I can't leave trash. Like, if I see it and I'm outside, can't leave trash. And it's just like my awareness just like glitched. I left and I was like 2 miles away, and I was like, shit, I was gonna grab that dirty diaper, even though I really didn't want to grab it. Like, that's gross. So I turned around, I went back, grabbed the diaper and all the other trash that was around, and put it in the back of my truck. It's like, that's just it. It's like, I'm cleaning up the dirty diapers, you know? It's just, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to be here to evolve, you know? And lastly, I'll say that I've read more books in this year than I have ever read in a whole year in my whole life. It's because I've always been reading stuff that I was told I needed to read, or like somebody else, and not saying like it was, I felt like these books more came into my field rather than like, oh, or like the self-help books in the past, or even stuff as like continuing education for massage therapy and all of that is just like so stagnant. Like reading that and then actually reading this material and not just like reading it, but actually absorbing the frequency that it was written by and feeling that like more so than even what I'm reading, and allowing that to be what moves me, you know, and comes forward from my into my experience and the creation of my reality. So thank you for providing the space as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie. So happy for you to be listening to the feminine side, and I know you've had a lot of physical training, and it's good to listen and give yourself a chance to do other things. But yeah, what a powerful body of knowledge to come into, and it's very alive, and I'm glad you found it and are enjoying what you're reading. And yeah, reading is so healing when there's so much screen time and so much stuff. To just be with a book can be, just that in itself can be really life-changing. It's how I'm starting my mornings, is just reading hilarious fiction. Tom Robbins, in honor of his crossing. So yeah, much love. Yeah.
And what you're bringing up is also how we began with Tracy's share. And I just find that so interesting, this grounding piece.
Mm.
And I remembered what something that Tracy inspired in me was like, oh, this grounding, that there's this really soft landing that can happen within the body that is so grounding. We typically have, most of us has been trained at the beginning, yoga, grounding through the feet, like tree roots, like get into the earth, and that's grounding. But there's also this other type of grounding that's grounding to yourself and your own experience. So when you're not feeling grounded, like on the earth, you can come there, and like in the meditation, that dropping and soft landing into the depth of your being is a beautiful, beautiful place to land as well.
Yeah, I will say that the passes specifically, like even if I'm not doing a pass that I've learned from you guys or anything like that, just like allowing my body to just move gently, and who cares what it looks like, right? But that in and of itself is that feels very grounding to me. So yeah, doesn't always have to be that type of grounding. So thank you.
Yeah,
Totally.
beautiful. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right. We'll go a little longer. We'll go with Kazri and Anush, and then we better stop. But I want to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just a quick share. Something beautiful happened yesterday. I went to a kirtan, and we're very fortunate for living in this small province. We have a lady here who's been doing kirtan for over a decade, and I've been many, many times, but someone new was on the scene. Joel, you've met her, Kiara, and she joined with this lady yesterday. It's the second time I go to a kirtan with Kiara. And Kiara, she brings a whole new level to it. She's like, comes from this real pure place, like no training. She just has an extraordinary voice, but she had us sing. So the whole hour, we're just call and answer, singing, whatever, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and all these beautiful mantras and singing, and it was all beautiful. Then Kiara, she comes on, and she's doing this beautiful, I don't know, Sita Ram Ram Ram, or responding Sita Ram Ram Ram. Then she builds up, starting to shake just thinking about it. She starts to build up the intensity, going faster and faster, and she's on the drum, and she's pounding the drum, and then I'm like slapping my legs, like clapping, like pounding my legs, like I'm activating my whole body, my voice. I'm singing out loud, and I'm slapping my legs as a drum, drumming on myself. And it's going faster and faster and faster and faster. And the next thing you know, my voice starts to shake, and it's shaking and shaking. And the next thing you know, it's just like I'm this ecstatic laughter. Like I don't laugh like this in my ordinary life. It's just this laughter come from this whole place of the deep within me of absolute ecstasy. And I could not sing anymore. Everyone else is singing. I'm just laughing and laughing and laughing. It was just extraordinary. So yeah, so I think deep down we are ecstasy. And I got to experience it last night without drugs. It was beautiful.
Totally beautiful.
Yes.
Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
That is so
Yeah.
amazing. Can see it on you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I chase music all over this country. That's how I heal myself. It's through that ecstatic. It's just it's worth the investment in yourself to show up for things that are, gonna give you that capacity, especially when you're dancing or making music and or singing inside of it together with people. Just wow. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Anush, welcome.
Anush.
Hey.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? I'm on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I just want to share with what Jolie shared. I was on social media and I came to a post and it said that a lot of the practices, spiritual practices, tend to be masculine. And so, because I've been exploring a lot of the polarity work, um, you know, it said that you don't have to heal in silence. You can heal through sound. So, we've been exploring that. And I found shifts that I can't even explain, right? And so it doesn't always have to be silence. You can heal through sound. And it doesn't always have to be stillness. You can heal through movement. So I just wanted to share that because we're taught, to get to healing or to get to ascending, we go to meditation or stillness and silence, but then it's like sometimes it doesn't work because it's so masculine in a sense. And maybe you want to explore the feminine where you are moving or you are in nature. Like we were just watching seals give birth at La Jolla near San Diego. And we were there for like 2 hours just watching life happen. And the amount of presence I experienced just watching them, like they're not doing anything extraordinary, there's not stillness, they're making a lot of noise, but just watching and being with nature. I was like, wow, I was so present with the seals and the seagulls, and they're all there together, they're doing their thing, they're all giving birth, and it was so beautiful. So it's like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like as we said, I've like been MIA a bit here because, there was a lot of intensity that was coming up. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need to pause. And there's that grace that you give yourself in that pause where it's like, okay, maybe I don't constantly need to be healing all the time because there's a sense of that, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So I keep chasing more and more. And I was like, let me just pause and do something a little bit different. So it's like, even in your healing, you can have a pattern break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to share that. Thank you.
Amazing.
Beautiful, Anush.
Yeah.
So resonate with that very powerfully. Our history is drenched in the masculine. There's hardly a thing. Yoga, Toltec, name the spiritual outlet. Probably 99% is masculine, male influence. And I could be wrong, but yeah, I think that we feel the impact of that. And when we aren't noticing that, especially as women and as men, we can get lost in that push, like we were talking about earlier. And so like movement, like you're saying, it's so beautiful. There is stillness in movement. There is silence in movement. It's the presencing. So just noticing if you're moving from a place of push or a place of presence. It's like all the difference in the world. Yeah. And sometimes we're not. We're just pushing and going and we're doing the thing and it's, we're doing our patterns and then we get to notice that, That's all beautiful. But well said. Thank you for bringing that in.
Yeah, I just wanted to also share one more thing. I was just going back to like very basic Toltec, and I was reading the Four Agreements again. And I was this time, like, somebody said, reading out loud. I think it's really nice to just read out loud, just to use your voice, right? And I was actually reading to my 10-year-old, and there's a part where, we talked about we have things happen to us or we're conditioned. But then through that conditioning, it's like the very first part of the book where he talks about we keep sabotaging or we keep doing that to ourselves by then judging ourselves. So if somebody was critical to us or judgmental towards us or whatever, but then we replay that over and over again. And he talks about the mistake. It's like, okay, you made the mistake once or they made the mistake once, but how many times are you paying for it every time when you're reminding yourself of it or you're reminding the other person of it? So it's like, yeah, it happened once, but how many times do we then, turn around and keep replaying that? And you're paying for the same mistake, even though you haven't made that mistake again. So just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Different, yeah, the recapitulation and that in that way, it's really just getting to know how it started, what the blueprint is. And rather than trying to change it necessarily, it's becoming conscious of it. And through that consciousness, it changes. Rather than trying to fix it, you're present with the pain, and then it starts to move through you. And then the pattern doesn't have to be there anymore because it's no longer, the story is released. And then you get to that healing that happens, gives you the insight on, and then how to make use of that shift, how to creatively interact with that. But thank you, Anush, I can feel from you the difference that that adjustment you've made. It's really more feminine, and that's amazing to witness. So thank you to everyone. It's truly just what a strong, powerful way to start summer. And I hope some of you can show up in August because, yeah, these movements are really magical, and we look forward to being together. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're looking to play with a more feminine movement practice, I'll be doing a pop-up. You can look for it. We'll maybe send out an email and social media, but it's an intuitive movement practice that's deeply rooted in the feminine called the Dream Dance. And yeah, I would love to facilitate that and play around with all of you. And yeah, it's been an incredible life-shifting experience for me to do this. So yeah.
Beautiful.
And also for those of you women that are interested in the women's gathering, the Sexual Awakening for the Heart, we are closing here in July, and then we're going to restart in October. And I'm also this year, for the first time, offering, I don't know if it's 2 or 4 weeks, but it's going to be a free introduction to the Sexual Awakening for the Heart. So it's going to be like 2 or 4 consecutive weeks in a row in September before we begin in October, just so you get a sense of it. So again, look out for that email if you're interested. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
It was so beautiful to meet with you. Thank you.
Sending love and intent. Take this out into the world and make eye contact. Don't be afraid.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much love. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you. You.
Bye for now.
Bye. Wonderful day.
Oh. Wow.